Missing fishermen found, one dead after 35 days at sea. Two fishermen who were reported missing since October 29 have been located by Honduran authority. However, the Jamaica Defense Force JDF says one of the men died during the 35 days ordeal at sea. The JDF says the men were located on Wednesday. It says the men's family have been notified of their status and it is coordinating with Honduran authorities to have the bodies returned to Jamaica. The JDF has launched an extensive search and rescue operation to locate the missing fishermen and issued alert to partners in the Cayman Islands, Haiti, Belize, Honduras, and Guatemala and other seafarers to see the lookout for the fishermen and their vessel. In the meantime, the JDF is reminding all marine interests that overdue vessels or vessels in distress can be reported to the Joint Rescue Coordination Center at 876-967-8193. Lethal deception. Residents in the quiet community of Hibernia in Manchester, forming community, are puzzled and shocked following a deadly home invasion on Wednesday night carried out by a gunman reportedly posing as police. Yvonne Gibson, otherwise called General, a 45-year-old construction worker, mechanic, and a resident of Hibernia, was killed in the attack while his cousin and a woman were injured. They came and knocked on the door and shouted, "Police, flying squad," a relative of the victims told reporters. The relative said that Gibson's cousin opened the door, but one of the gunmen told him he was not the person they wanted. He said that Gibson was in the room in the house, heard the argument, pulled open his door, and on stepping out of the room, one of the gunmen said, "Yeah man, silly mania." He said the gunmen shot Gibson twice, and after he fell, they shot him again. The murder was committed about 9:30 p.m. Gibson's cousin was shot in the leg, and the cousin's girlfriend was shot in the upper body. They were taken to hospital where Gibson was pronounced dead, while the injured couple was admitted for treatment. Three other people, including Gibson's 90-year-old grandmother, his teenage cousin, and the child's mother, were unharmed during the invasion. This latest incident has increased the number of people killed in Manchester since the start of the year to 47. A relative of the victim expressed shock following the shooting. "The community no used to this man. Every man you see around here is a farmer. The youth who them kill was hardworking. If you notice on him car, it say Evan Construction. I am shocked. When they called me last night and told me drop down. They had water all about to feed me," stated the relative. Gibson's father, Avril, told reporters that his son was a hard worker. "He's my only son. Him are the first beginning out of my back. This morning, I talked to you, say, 'General, come take down the decking board them.' Him say, 'Yes, daddy.' And see what happen, say, then kill him," stated the elder Gibson. "He's a builder. He's a jack of all trades. Right now, if your vehicle come here and break down, he will drop all the engine and by a morning you get back up your vehicle," he added. He said he believes his son was envied for being handsome. "Him good looking, The woman them like him. Me no know if a woman them kill him over or what," he stated. Councillor Omar Miller, Jamaica Labour Party Cricket Division, said he knew the murder victim. "He was a community man, a decent law-abiding citizen and hard worker. We went to school together and believe you me, I am feeling it right now because he shouldn't have gone this way. But we have to face the reality that crime is everywhere," Miller said on Thursday. "We the people have to find a way to rid the community of these kinds of criminal activities. I do believe that the police have a lot on their hands, and I hope that we can bring the culprits to justice," he added. 11 people killed in crashes since the start of the year. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, says 11 people have died in crashes since the start of the week. 2 people died in crashes in Kingston and Hanover yesterday. The deceased are 26-year-old Shana Irvin of Johnstown, Hanover, and a 60-year-old woman. In the latest incident, about 7:59 p.m., Irvin was traveling along the Johnstown Main Road when he swerved to avoid a pothole and crashed into a motor truck traveling in the opposite direction. He was pronounced dead at hospital. In the other incident, about 8 a.m., the elderly woman was mowed down by a motor vehicle along South and East Parade in Kingston. Police say the woman was crossing the road when she was reportedly hit by a Toyota Coaster bus. She was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Dr. Jones says November has accounted for 20 road fatalities. He is urging pedestrians to be very careful on the roads, especially in the Christmas season.
So far for this week, based on the police reports, 11 persons have died. We were doing very well at the start of November, and all of a sudden for this week, the number of fatalities has exploded. It included 3 dying at one time in St. Mary early in the week, and so far 3 motorcyclists, 2 pedestrians, both of them female. It means that for this month, 20 persons have died, significantly below the 40 last year. But based on the start of the week, the month, we're hoping to have done much better. We're inching closer to December, the Christmas period, when traditionally we have a lot of people dying. We really need to pull back on what is happening now. It means that motorcyclists need to wear their helmet and slow down. Those in private motor cars need to be wearing their seatbelt, and the drivers need to be extremely careful, especially in this inclement weather. We cannot emphasize too much the fact that people need to stop drinking and driving and smoking ganja and driving and stop using their cell phones and driving. That is a distraction and it causes crashes. Pedestrians have to be very careful about using the roads. We continue to see a number of pedestrians dying, and they are dying because they are walking out into the road. Yes, the fact that people are speeding doesn't help, but pedestrians need to be much more careful. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is that people are driving far too carelessly and driving too fast. We just need to slow down. Christmas is coming. We need to live not just for Christmas, but for next year. So I'm appealing to all road users to be extremely careful from now on and into the new year.
Strong signal needed. Justice Minister Delroy has signaled his intention to introduce legislation that would see the death penalty imposed on gangsters convicted for multiple killings. As a country, we have to fight back, and the government is prepared and determined to fight back. That is why, apart from gang legislation, I will soon take to Parliament a proposal for those gangsters who are killing 2 or more people. The death sentence may well be there for them. We haven't imposed it yet, but it may well be there. Let it go back to the Privy Council and they give life sentence, fine. But we have to start sending the signal that some of these gangsters must be out of the community forever. Because if we don't remove them from the community, they will take over, the minister said on Wednesday at the Trelawney Justice of the Peace Association's commissioning ceremony. The event was held at Low River United Church in Lorimeres. Currently, people convicted for murder in specified circumstances can be given a death penalty, with the law prescribing that the method of execution is hanging. The last person executed in Jamaica was Nathan Foster, who was convicted of murder and hanged in 1988. The Jamaican Parliament placed a memorandum on the death penalty until 2009, when it was lifted. Since 2009, capital punishment is legal and executions of Jamaica could resume. However, there has been no execution since. On Wednesday, Chuck acknowledged that even before having to cross the hurdles of getting the death penalty, there are challenges in securing convictions against gangsters. What is more important, and this is the challenge, is how you get the evidence to put them away. Manfred, he stated. His comments came on the heels of 2 shooting incidents that left 6 men dead in a section of Walton Park Road, St. Andrew on Monday evening. Following that, purportedly committed by gangsters, Prime Minister Andrew Holness promised the nation that legislative changes are coming. We consider them acts of terror, and we are examining the law to see what other penalties and what other deterrents can be placed in law to prevent criminals and criminal-minded people in gangs from committing these kinds of acts. In the meantime, from an operational perspective, the police can mobilize resources to deal with the problem, the Prime Minister noted. It was the latest in a string of violent incidents across the country. In October, 5 people were killed and 2 injured when gunmen shoot up a football game in East Kingston. A few weeks earlier, 4 people were killed when gunmen shot up a bar in Betheltown, Westmoreland. 4 others were injured in the incident. In August, a mass shooting in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon, left 8 people dead, including a 7-year-old boy. Gangs are becoming well organized. You see it in El Salvador, where they were taking over until President took a most aggressive action, don't get me wrong, and locked up 70 of them, and the murder rate went down to almost nothing, stated Delroy. People said, Delroy dropped Prime Minister Andrew Holness, why you don't do that here? God forbid that we should ever have to do that. But when you think of what is happening next door in Haiti, where the gangs are taking over, have taken over, and here in Jamaica, many communities have been taken over by gangs. And quietly, in your peaceful community, before you know it, it is one bad man who starts to tell you what time to come home and what time to leave your house and where you must look, he stated. He stressed the importance of acting before it is too late. If you don't start fighting back from early, then before you know it, you can't. And that is why the Prime Minister and the government and the police force are determined that we're going to dismantle the gangs, because if we don't dismantle the gangs, they can only get stronger, broader, and start dictating to communities, stated Delroy. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.